Hello, welcome to the Retro Show. We're gonna have a new special episode for you. Around this time, when you're giving out candies to the kiddies, you want to entertain yourself. So either A, you can just use your phone, or B, you can crack out the old Genesis and play some Genesis games. So in this one, a few games that you want to play on Halloween. So this is Sega Genesis games you play on Halloween. Enjoy. So our first game we're going to talk about is Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It was a game that was released by, it was developed by LucasArts and published by Konami for the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Now, if I had to compare the both versions, I like the Super Nintendo better because of the superior sound chip. Sorry for those Sega fans, I'm sorry, but if I had to pick. But again, this is a very good game for the Sega Genesis for the Halloween theme. You play as either Zeke or Julie in order to rescue the neighbors from the monsters. And basically, if you save them, you get extra points. And they kind of have cool little levels like Zombie Panic and like a lot of puns. Another thing I want to note is if you have a special code, you can actually play on the LucasArts studio, and you can go around and they have little. I'm going to show you in a sec. There we go. So here's the LucasArts Studios, and it's kind of neat where you actually can walk around and it tells you all the designers and coders and bosses, even George Lucas. It's kind of neat where you just kind of wander around, and actually there is some special guests like from other games in here. It's really worth it. If you can find the code online, it didn't take me very hard. Actually, I kind of stumbled onto it. So yeah, check that out. That's pretty cool. So basically, you fight against zombies, werewolves, flying giant heads. There's even a level that has a giant baby. You visit like towns, temples, Egyptian theme. It's a really fun game. Great fun play with two players. I'd highly recommend it.
So I'm going to be taking a look at a game called The Haunting, starring Poltergeist. This was quite a fun game to play. I remember renting it as a kid. That's all I did was rent games. I couldn't afford to buy them. But I remember when I picked it up, I wasn't sure. I hadn't really, obviously, we didn't have internet back then, or didn't have it as didn't have as easy access to it. So, but I was very glad when I did because it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun this game. Basically, what you had to do is you had to jump into these structures. You see the little blinking light there. You go into it, and you would try to scare the whole family out of the house. Once they're all out of the house, you move on to the next house. You also had this green life force here, where the more that you jump into things to scare people, the more life force you would use. Eventually, when you run out, you don't die. You drop down to what's kind of like an underworld, and you have to collect more of it. Once you collect enough, you can come back up and scare more people out of the house. It's quite difficult, this game. I find by the time you get to the third house, once you get to the underworld gets really hard. It's kind of like I don't even know if it's a side scroller, the underworld, whatever you want to say, but you'll see it in a minute here, what it looks like. But it's quite fun. It's quite a lot of fun. I definitely recommend trying this game out if you haven't. It's definitely a good addition to our Scaretoberfest, as I like to call it, but I don't think Bearded Mike likes to call that. But
Shut up!
So once we take a look at the underworld here, you'll see the shark. Watch out for the shark. So you go into the underworld, and you have to collect the little pieces of green goo. And once you collect those, you collect enough of them, you get to the end of the underworld part. You get to go back up and scare more people out of the house. So once you get to the third house, I've never actually made it past the third house. I've tried and tried. It's, again, like I said, it's quite difficult. So once you get to that third house, good luck. I'd like to know. One day I will try to actually finish the whole thing. Unfortunately, me and Beard Mike just have too many fans asking for too many recommendations of games. I mean, all our 10 fans. I mean, it's kind of hard to keep up. But I'll let what I'll do is I will let it play for a little bit, let you take a look at what the game looks like. But I definitely recommend this game, and that's about it for TV Steve. Alright, I'm going to talk about Splatterhouse 2. Not the first one, not the third one, but the second one. The reason is, we don't really have a reason, to be honest. So basically what's going to happen here is very, very simple side-scrolling game. If you've seen the Splatterhouse series, it's basically there's been these horrible tests by an evil doctor and experiments, sorry, and you have to figure out what's going on, and this mask takes over your body. You wear this mask for whatever reason, you have the mask on, and it takes over, and you have to, as you can see here, I'm taking just a quick bathroom break, and just finishing it off here, and off I go. So there was quite a bit of I remember as a kid, I remember there was a rating on this, I believe, and it was tough because I can't remember exactly, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, and if anybody can make some comments below, there was actually some video game stores who wouldn't actually rent it out because of its gore, because of its extremely violent, extremely disgusting gameplay. Having said that, it's a lot of fun. I mean, what can I say? They did a really good job on it. I mean, it's supposed to be gory, it's supposed to be scary, and they did like I said, they did a great job at making it. Now I know it was never released for the Super Nintendo, only for the Mega Drive / Genesis.
See this on Nintendo.
Yeah, you'll never see this on Nintendo. That's for sure. This is one of those things where Nintendo's too cutesy for this, that's for sure. That's one thing I loved about the Genesis. I mean, they had games like this where more adult, geared towards adult audiences, and I liked that because I didn't like the cutesy stuff. I wasn't crazy about it. It was fine for some people. The Mario games are all nice and fine, but I liked this kind of stuff because it was more geared towards adults. I wasn't even an adult, to be honest, when this came out, but I still liked it more. I didn't like the cutesy games. I wanted to play stuff like this. So this is why I highly recommend you playing Splatterhouse, as it is a lot of fun, but it's very hard. As you see how many times I'm going to die here, it's kind of crazy actually. I think I die about 5 times in the span of about 5 minutes. So this is my second edition. Now, I know Bearded Mike has 2 as well, which I'm not going to say. It's a surprise. You'll have to find out. You'll have to watch more. Okay, and I'll see you guys later. I don't know.
So we're calling about Decap Attack. This is a particular. You know what? I've never rented this game or TV Steve. It's sort of like in the background, never picked it up, or was always rented when I wanted to. But there's actually quite a fun game. It's cute. Cute in a creepy sort of Halloween way. And as you can see, I'm trying to figure out the controls here. Trying to figure out the jump at this point because I'm not actually playing on a real Sega controller because for whatever reason my capture card is not working or decides not to cooperate again. I was just going to buy another one. Anyway, Decap Attack. Let's see what we got here. There's actually a Western version of a Japanese game now called Magic Hat no Button Boo Taboo. Don't forget to pronounce that. Anyway, they had to change the entire game because in Japan, it was a game that was based off of an animated series. Since nobody would know what the animated series would be in the U.S. and Canada, they changed it into and totally did a conversion. Chucky had a mummy created by mad scientist Dr. Frankenstein, sent to meet Mad Decap, who has returned from the underworld to return with his army. And he reformed the Scatterlands. So basically it's a pretty simple platformer. A lot of Halloween, cutesy, which I guess is another genre of horror game. It's not actually a horror game. It's a cutesy game with bones flying around, skulls. You do get a head where you get to throw around. I'm not very good at anyway. And thanks for watching a nice scary look at games for Halloween. Don't forget to give us some likes and put some comments. What other games you like to play for Halloween? Not necessarily Genesis, or Genesis games that we missed and we should have added it to our take a look at of this Halloween Oktoberfest extravaganza. So until next time, this is TV Steve and Bearded Mike signing out.